Hey guys, John with Scottsdale Living, and I'm here with Andrea Lewis from HopeKids, Arizona. So this is Between Two Cacti, our next podcast edition coming out, and I'm really excited to talk to Andrea because you guys do. It's just amazing, right? I mean, what you guys do for the kids and for the families. I'm sure a lot of people may not be familiar with HopeKids AZ. It is so you guys are in more than one state. Is it a national
that's
association?
correct.
Or
Yeah,
national
so we were started here in Arizona in 2001, and we have since expanded to 6 different states around the country.
Wow, okay.
But Arizona is the original.
I love it. So we're the home ground, right?
Yes, exactly.
Cool. So
OG.
Everybody likes this, the OG. I love it. It's the OG. That's fantastic. So everybody, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this thing. But I'm gonna hang out with it a little bit right now.
Cozy.
We're having a good time. So everybody likes the backstory. So tell us a little bit about. I know you're an Arizona native, I believe, right? And then a little bit of California.
Yeah.
Then back here for a master's degree.
Yeah. Wow. Yes.
And then I do my
research.
research.
Yes.
It's crazy, right? I know you were Not My Kid for a while.
Yes.
And
Correct.
then you've been with HopeKids for what, 7 or 8 years now?
Yeah, it'll be 7 this October, 7 years.
Cool.
So yeah,
Cool.
You've kind of given the great overview. But I am an Arizona native, grew up in Scottsdale, went to Xavier for high school, and then for college was in California at Azusa Pacific University studying elementary
So
education.
where is that? Because I've not heard of that
it's
before.
technically in the city of Azusa, which is near Pasadena, so
Gotcha.
kind of general LA area. And
Gotcha.
it was fabulous, but always knew I wanted to come back here to Arizona, and I studied elementary education thinking that my passion's always been helping children.
Right.
And thought, you want to help kids, you go be a teacher. But I realized through my education, I just didn't really love being in the classroom.
Sure.
So I started volunteering at a variety of nonprofits, found, wow, there are so many other amazing ways that you can help kids in need. So went to ASU, got my master's in master's in nonprofit leadership and management. And from there, worked at Not My Kid for, about 4 years total. And then after that was at the Miracle League of Arizona. And one day I got a call that a position was open with HopeKids and couldn't say no. It was the dream job. So I've been here almost 7 years now.
So did you know HopeKids before you got the call?
Yes. So I started volunteering with HopeKids when I was about 21 years old. Just fell in love with the organization, continued volunteering. One year they asked me to chair their gala. So at that time I became really close with the executive director at the time, Kimberly Trishelle, who's now on our national team as our national director of operations. So when that position became available, she called me up. I was her first call, and we worked together about 5 years with her as the executive director of our Arizona chapter. And then when she was promoted, I followed suit and became the executive director about 1.5 years ago.
So cool.
Yeah.
So, for people that don't understand, my understanding of HopeKids, and I haven't been super involved, and I want to do more with the organization because it seems amazing.
Oh, thank
but,
you.
You guys work with families, and the kids have chronic illnesses or life-threatening or or that kind of illness, and just make their life better through events and gatherings, that kind of thing.
That's exactly it. So we provide events and activities for families who have a child with cancer or another life-threatening medical condition.
Sure.
So we serve about 1,500 families here in Arizona. About 30 to 40% their child has cancer, and the rest a variety of diagnoses, anything from cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, kids needing various organ transplants, etc. And so every year we plan over 500 events for those families to attend completely free of charge to them, so that they always have something to look forward to. You know, so often they're just stuck in the hospital going through chemo or just waiting for their next doctor's appointment. I feel like we all kind of got a little taste of what these families go through every day with COVID, and that, we were all scared and cautious and, just didn't have anything to look forward to. I was canceling vacations and, visits with friends and whatnot. So we were all just like, we just need something to look forward to. So that's these families' everyday life.
But you guys are not a medical organization.
No, we provide no medical help. However, we believe hope is powerful medicine, is what we say. So just giving these kids something to look forward to, as well as their entire families, can often be the push that they need just to keep fighting.
Yeah. So give me an example. What's an event that you would put on?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Well, again, so many, but everything from tickets to sporting events, Diamondbacks games, Suns games, Coyotes games, and then a variety of different parties throughout the year. We have summertime pool parties, princess tea parties, superhero parties, horseback riding, and then we serve not only the diagnosed child but their entire family. So we also have a variety of parent date nights throughout the year too.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, Make-A-Wish, obviously another well-known charity, but that's kind of a one and done, right? It's like, hey, here's your big event, which is really great. But I mean, you guys are doing this all the time, right?
Absolutely.
So these kids get to participate in this nonstop.
That's exactly it. So many of our Hope Kids have received a Make-A-Wish, and they just love and speak so highly of the organization. But yes, exactly like you said, it's an incredible event, and then it's done. So we are just a little bit different in that we serve not only the diagnosed child, but their entire family, and also that they can be a part of Hope Kids, attend as many events as they want for life. They never get kicked out. They do have to be between the ages of 0 to 18 to apply and be accepted to Hope Kids, but once they're in for life. So we've been really cool to see some of our Hope Kids survive into adulthood, and some have gotten married and had kids of their own who now attend Hope Kids event, which is really cool to see.
Yeah. So when you say you serve 1,500 families, is that when you have an event, let's say you guys are going to the D-backs game, something like that, how many families are coming over?
It's totally up to our event partner. So whoever's hosting the event for us can decide. And we have some events that are as small as, for example, just last week we had a mom's event for just 6 moms. Oh, cool. But we sometimes have events. Main Event is an incredible partner of ours, and they let us have a private event at their venue that can host up to 1,000 people. So so again, small as 6, as large as 1,000.
So if you were looking for partners in the community, whether it's businesses or opportunities, what's a good fit?
Totally.
I mean, is it like event planners, sporting teams? What kind of things are you looking for help with?
There are so many opportunities, and there are some that people wouldn't even naturally think would be, but they are. So for example, we have a great partnership with General Mills here in the Valley, and annually,
the free cereal.
Yeah, I know. We don't get any of that, but I need to ask them about that. But they annually host a picnic in the springtime for our families, where they kind of rent out an area of a local park. They get in a bounce house, a magician, they have crafts, and then they're grilling up hot dogs for our families. So that's a really fabulous event. And also in October, in their office, they host a Halloween party for our families. So the kids get to come dressed up, go trick-or-treating office to office, and then they do crafts and have food there too. So honestly, almost any business could plan, host some event for Hope Kids families. We also have a variety of group volunteer opportunities. So if a business was interested in getting out into the community and giving back, whether that's volunteering at one of our events, planning their own, or even gathering extra goodies. Our external HR company, Insperity, just this past December, created amazing little stockings for our families in need. So they stuffed them with all sorts of little goodies that we were able to pass out to the kiddos. So lots of opportunities there. But then also businesses that would just be a natural fit would be something, like a trampoline park, or something where, like a pottery making place, candle making place, some place where kids could just come enjoy and do some sort of craft activity, get some energy out. And we have events at Uptown Jungle where they can just go, play. So really tons of opportunities for partnership.
I imagine from like the family side, the parent side, it's got to be such a challenge, because I mean, you've got this child who's, they're hurting, right? I mean, they're in a bad place, and it's got to be hard to connect with other families. So I mean, that's got to be a huge part of it as well, right?
Absolutely. That's a huge thing we talk about, is that these families, they need a support network of people who know what they're going through, and not everyone does. So often they become isolated from their friends or family while they're going through this illness with their child. So at our events, because families are repeat attendees at events, they're able to get to meet other friends who know what it's like to have a child with a life-threatening medical condition. And we have seen incredible lifelong friendships be born between that, of parents getting to connect with other parents, and likewise kids getting to connect with other kids. So often these children are out in the community, and they get stared at because they're in a wheelchair or look a little different or are missing their hair. And at events, they don't have to worry about being the only child who looks different, that they're going to see other kids who look like them, and just don't have to worry about anything except being a kid and having fun.
So I give you like all the props in the world, because your heart has got to be so big. Because
Sweet.
you got to ride that roller coaster too, right? I mean, just being part of it.
Absolutely.
So I mean, how do you personally I mean, what do you do in your life to, because this, I mean, what you're doing every day is amazing, but I mean, you can't believe the stress level's got to be pretty high too, right?
Yes, it is incredibly hard, unfortunately, just due to the nature of the children that we serve. We do have some Hope Kids who pass away, which is incredibly difficult, obviously the most to their families and their communities, but we as a Hope Kids team and staff, you know, we feel and grieve that as well. We are a Christian-based nonprofit, so personally my faith is something that really helps me get through that, recognizing that, you know, I was just blessed while they were here to be a small part of their journey and help bring them some joy while they were here. And in addition to that, you do just need to sometimes to step away and just care for yourself, practice that self-care, doing things like, you know, meditation, prayer, taking a nap is my personal favorite, you know, going to the gym, going on a walk, whatever, to just personally take care of yourself too, because, you know, we can't fill others' cups until ours are full ourselves. So.
Well, I mean, your plate is full, because I mean, I did a little research, but this is like a $4 or $5 million a year kind of operation, right?
Yes,
so I mean, you guys, you know, one, you have obviously the fiduciary responsibility, but then that's a lot to manage. So what does that look like from like a staff standpoint?
Absolutely.
Volunteers, how does that whole thing roll?
So we here in Arizona are a small but mighty team of 3. So I as the executive director am in charge of our fundraising. Then we have our family and community director, who is in charge of all the families that we serve, as well as our volunteers and some community outreach efforts. So she's the one all our families go to with questions or in need of resources, and then she's coordinating volunteers at all our events, because as I mentioned, as a team of 3 with over 500 events, we obviously can't be at everything, so we do rely really heavily on our incredible volunteers to be there. And then our program manager is who essentially plans and coordinates all of the events for our families.
That is crazy.
Yes.
So there's 3 of you, and there's 500 events.
That's correct.
1,500 families.
Yes.
So I mean, you must have like some really key volunteers, right?
Amazing.
Like
yes.
Almost staff level.
We literally could not do what we do without our volunteers. We have about 100 volunteers here in Arizona, and they are just incredible people. Also, since I mentioned we are a national organization, we do have a national staff who provides support as well. Our national president and board are in charge of our expansion. Our director of operations oversees all the executive directors around the chapter. We have a national person who's in charge of our marketing, so she helps make all our flyers and stuff. So while it does sound incredibly impressive that we are a small team of 3, and while I still think it is, we do have a lot of support from our national team as well, which is wonderful.
So tell me a little bit, and because I don't know the story, but somewhere somehow there was a person that had this vision or had this, wanted this to happen, or a family or whatever it was. So who was that, and how did that come about?
Yes, a gentleman named Rob, an Arizona Valley gentleman who it started rather small, actually, more focused on families who had a child with cancer, and more focused on just sporting events, providing tickets to different sports events. And they saw what an incredible impact it was making, you know, on both the families, and also that they were starting to meet other families, and really it took off from there to expand to all life-threatening illnesses, and just grow from just sporting events to all kinds of different events. So it's really amazing to hear how in those early days, you know, he was calling up families to say, hey, I've got 5 tickets here, do you want to go? To where now we have this incredible custom-made database where once a family's accepted, they're able to log in, see our online calendar of all the upcoming events, and they can just register from there for whatever they want. So
cool.
Really incredible.
So is he still involved?
He's not. No, he's not involved anymore. But
so it took off, right? I mean, he got his dream going and got it established, and off it went.
Yeah, exactly.
So cool. So tell me a little bit about how does a family get involved? I mean, is there like a cap or a limit, or is it?
We have no limit. We are always accepting families. Again, child has to be between the ages of 0 to 18 with what a doctor would consider to be a life-threatening medical condition. So on our website, HopeKids.org, there is a Become a Hope Kid button right at the very top. Just click it. It's a quick online application. And we actually aren't the ones who approve or deny a child. It's up to their doctor. So we'll send an approval form to their doctor to fill out to just confirm that they meet the life-threatening qualifications. And if so, they send that back and they are approved. And once in, they're again have access to that online calendar of events. They get a welcome call from us, get T-shirts from us, and then they're ready to go.
I love it. That is so amazing. So you must have seen some really incredible journeys, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So I mean, a lot of these kids, I'm sure, come in really young, and you've been there for like almost 7 years now. So I'm sure you know a lot of the families that have been there the whole time, huh?
Absolutely.
So you got to become like family with them. Right?
absolutely. There are, I obviously with 1,500 don't know everyone, but I would say I probably know at least half by name. And it's really cool to get to see them. Like you said, about 7 years, I have seen some of these kids who I met when they were 5, 6 years old are now teenagers. And I'm like,
Crazy,
oh my
right?
gosh, it makes me feel so old. But it's really,
up.
really amazing to watch them grow, see so many kids who, I met when they were in the hospital with no hair. And now they've got just, a full head of curls. Totally. And it's really cool to get to see that full circle
I saw one thing on the website that really kind of touched me. It was this young girl family talking about how she's not very mobile, so she's not able to get out of the house. And like somebody, I don't know if they came to their house or what the deal was, but somebody came and did her hair and pampered her and that whole thing. So I mean, is that an ongoing thing, or is that just somebody volunteering that wanted to kind of do that?
That specific one isn't jumping to mind. I'm wondering if perhaps that's from one of our other chapters. But
could be.
Yeah. But in regards to home visits, that's not typically something we do. But we do visit our kids at the hospital if they're inpatient and not able to actually come out to our events. We're at the hospital. Pre-COVID, we were there every other week. Now, since a lot of the hospitals still have restrictions on totally. who can visit the kids or come to the rooms, we're there once a month just to bring toys and gifts to the kids, get to visit with them, and then especially get to visit with their parents. We bring them a coffee, and sometimes they are just in desperate need of some adult conversation. So just getting to sit and chat with them for a while.
And what's the volunteer process? So I mean, somebody goes to your website and kind of applies.
Absolutely. On the website, again, HopeKids.org, there's a Get Involved button, and then from there, volunteer, and it's just a quick, again, online application. Our family and community director would then get in touch with them just to confirm references, do a quick interview, do a background check. We just want to make sure everyone, who's interacting with our kids is safe. Go through a training, and then from there, a variety of different volunteer opportunities, everything from checking in families to events, to passing out tickets, to helping set up some of the parties, doing crafts and playing games with the kids, serving food. There's seriously a little bit of everything, and it's super flexible. Typically every month she sends out our upcoming calendar of events and lists date, time, location, and from there our volunteers can just say, oh, that one works for me, that one works for me. And if not, no big deal. Again, we have about 100 amazing volunteers, so we typically are able to find people to cover everything.
I love it. So I've been involved in nonprofits my whole life, mostly with the YMCA, honestly, because I kind of grew up in that environment and sat on the board or whatever. So I know that a big part of this whole thing is fundraising, right? So most of the time that involves events. So what are some of the events that you guys do that people can get involved with?
Absolutely. So we have 4 big fundraising events every year. One just happened about a month ago, which was our car show. It took a little hiatus due to COVID, but it was back this year. So did you do it right around Barrett Jackson? Yes, couple weeks, a week or two before. But yes. So that was January 14th at the Embassy Suites in Scottsdale, and we had some incredible cars come out. Everything from vintage cars to luxury sporting cars, a variety of different
So not only a fundraiser,
stuff.
But the kids must have loved it too, right?
Exactly. So it was a fundraiser for Hope Kids, but we also invited 250 Hope Kids family members out to enjoy the day, and we had for the kids face painting and balloon animals and food trucks and a DJ and a photo booth. So it was a lot of fun for the kids too. So that was our first one of the year. Next up is our biggest fundraiser of the year, which is our golf tournament. That will be May 8th at Mirabelle Golf Club in Scottsdale. We're actually, to be honest, almost full, but if anyone is interested, just on the website under special events, click on Arizona. You can find out more information about our golf tournament. And then in October, we have a Hope Walk, which is at Notre Dame Prep in Scottsdale.
Across the street from my house.
Fabulous. So that's always a really fun event. And then in November.
So tell me a little bit about this one.
It's absolutely.
Are people getting pledges for how much they walk?
Totally. So this is the one time a year that our families are asked to give back to Hope Kids. So families create a team, and we just ask each team to try and raise $100. And so not only our families, but we also secured sponsors, and then volunteers and various other members of the community are welcome to create a team and walk as well. But at the event, it's not just a typical walk. It's honestly kind of like a carnival. We have rides and games and different booths and vendors set up. So it's a fun day, honestly, for the whole family.
And when is that one again?
What was that?
When is that one?
When?
Yeah.
We don't have a date yet because it's pending Notre Dame Prep's football schedule. But we'll typically find that out April or May. But it's always in October, Saturday in October.
Cool.
Yeah, and then November, I believe it's 4th this year, is our annual Boots and Bling Gala.
I love it.
Yeah, so
Cool.
that's really fun. That will be at Cave Creek Outfitters in very North Scottsdale, almost to Cave Creek. And it's a really cool Western town. Western Destinations, who's the owner of that, is an incredible sponsor and supporter of Hope Kids.
Right.
So they host us there for free, and we just pay for the food while we're there, which is incredible. And they have great Western fare for our guests.
I love it. So
yeah,
cool.
it's a lot of fun. We had a mechanical bowl out, open bar, Western photos. So
Mechanical bowl, open bar.
Yeah, I know, right? What could go wrong?
Well, it could be a really good time too, right?
It is.
That's a way to raise some money right there.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and we like to not be too stuffy. It is just a casual, show up in your boots and your jeans and have a great evening. So those are our 4 big fundraising events throughout the year, which make up about 30% of our income for the year.
I love it. That's great. So outside, like you have your fundraisers, right? You got the 4 of them. Outside of that, I'm sure donations can go through the website.
Yes, exactly.
And then, so how about, there's a lot of folks out there that don't necessarily have the financial ability to help, but want to help, whether it's a small business or, are there services you're looking for? Is, outside of just volunteer, but what kind of stuff are you also looking for that would be helpful?
That's a great question. Honestly, I would say the biggest thing that businesses, individuals could look into doing would be creating an event for our families.
Okay.
Kind of really taking that on, and whether that be, could be something as cute and simple as, say, Christmas time, inviting families to your office and providing the supplies to decorate ornaments or make a gingerbread house or something.
Well, we just did a vision board thing, and I think something like that would be really cool too.
Oh, yeah, a vision board event. I love that. Yeah, those are
really
super
neat.
Popular. That would be a really great idea.
Cool.
So, yeah, something like that. Again, it doesn't have to cost a lot. It's really just, the effort and love that you put into the
100%,
event.
Yeah. And with 1,500 families, I'm sure they're looking for everything, right?
Absolutely.
So, all the different kind of events,
Exactly.
So what's like your a couple of your favorite events?
Oh my goodness. Our Princess Tea Party is my absolute favorite. We have this incredible donor who hosts it at her home. She has just a beautiful home in Peoria. It looks like a French castle.
Wow.
And so she invites the Hope Kids there. She has custom dresses made for each one.
Oh my gosh,
the Disney
amazing.
princesses are there performing. They get to go to meet each of them. They do a little balloon release where they get to make a little wish. They have, tea party sandwiches. It is just absolutely precious.
That is
so
cool.
that one is definitely on the top of my list. One of my favorites.
The tea party.
Yes.
So what's a couple other ones that you really love as well?
Absolutely.
Obviously the sporting events we get really cool.
Absolutely.
But the neat ideas like the tea party one, that's
totally
bomb.
Yes, so fun. Another great one that I love is over Labor Day weekend we go take some of our families up for a family camp weekend at a camp called Whispering Hope Ranch in Payson, and they are a fully accessible ranch. So our kids in wheelchairs are able to get around. Our families stay there for just 2 nights bunking together. They get to meet other families who are going through something similar. We very intentionally pair the families so that kids are of similar ages, getting to hang out, and they have a movie under the stars, archery, horseback riding, animal encounters. They have a really great accessible splash pad. So it's an honestly magical weekend, getting to see our families just get away from it all, and again just get to see their kids enjoying themselves being kids. This past year had a mom come up the last day just sobbing and hugged us staff, just saying, we needed this weekend. Thank you so much. So that's another really special one.
And I would imagine, although you guys are here based in Scottsdale, which is fantastic. The kids are from all over the valley, right? All over the state.
Yep, exactly. So primarily here in the valley, we do have about 150 families down in Tucson as well. So while our events aren't nearly as active as they are here in the Phoenix area, we do typically host at least 2 events a month down in Tucson. So for those families as well. But primarily here in the valley. We have a few who live up north or kind of in the outskirts, Yuma or whatnot, but so many of them are frequently coming into the valley, particularly at
for
PCH,
medical services or whatever,
hospital stays, medical services, etc. But and we actually don't have a brick and mortar office here in Scottsdale. We work from home, the 3 of us. So that's
you guys are literally the poster child for a charity that is run right. The overhead is not minimal, and you guys are doing everything is going back to the mission.
That's exactly it. Is we want to keep the overhead super low. So all 3 of us staff work from home, and 87% of all funds that are donated to Hope Kids go directly to our families through our programs.
Wow, that's
so
fantastic.
it's a really good percentage overall, and we're very proud of that.
Fantastic.
Thank
So
you.
as you, as an Arizona native, right?
Yeah.
A Scottsdale native.
Yes.
Okay, so let's leave Hope Kids for just a minute, as amazing as it is.
Sure.
So give me your favorite restaurant in Scottsdale.
Oh, that's a great question.
I know, it's a tough one, right?
Oh, that's
There's
such a
so
tough
many.
one. Okay, I'm trying to think of something local
Yeah.
because the first ones that are popping to my mind are some chains. Where have I been recently that I loved that was local?
I love to throw this curveball at
Oh, that
everybody,
is such a curveball because a few of the first ones that are popping to mind are Oso and
Yeah.
Fogo de Chao.
Sure.
But I know those are in other places too. Oh gosh, local. Give me a second to think about it.
No worries.
I'll come
no
back
worries.
to you with that one.
Totally, absolutely. So what's a day-to-day basis for you? Is
Mm-hmm.
just hustling, right? I mean, you must be going nonstop.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, as I mentioned, very important to practice that self-care. So I do take time to stop. But every day honestly is different. You know, I am out in the valley a lot, meeting with various donors.
Sure.
I am at our events, writing grants, planning our fundraisers.
Yeah, it's
So
crazy.
it's honestly a little bit of everything. And then making sure my team and I, we come together once a week for our weekly meeting just to
Right.
go over all of our upcoming events, make sure all our logistics are taken care of. So, it's kind of different every day, which I
Yeah.
love, but it's primarily interacting with people, which is my favorite thing in the
totally.
world.
I
So,
love it. Good for you. It's really cool.
Oh, thank
so
you.
again, it's Hope Kids AZ. And
Yes.
the website is just hopekids.com
HopeKids.org.
or .org.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. Makes sense. So give us another little rundown, the whole mission and what you
absolutely.
guys are looking for
Yeah,
and what we can do as a community can do to help.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Again, HopeKids.org, we provide events and activities for
Yeah.
families who have a child with cancer or another life-threatening medical condition. And we surround those remarkable children with the message that hope can be powerful medicine.
So cool.
Yes, thank you. In regards to the community, again, we are always looking for volunteers. Volunteers can apply online. We are always accepting families who have a
Sure.
child with a qualifying medical condition. Again, HopeKids.org, become a Hope Kid button. Donors, again, on the website, HopeKids.org,
Right.
there's a Donate Now button. Our Hope 365 program is a monthly donor program for just
Okay, cool.
$30 a month. You can provide an unlimited calendar of activities for a family of 4 for that year.
Wow,
So it's
that's great.
honestly a small amount that makes a huge impact and difference. So my husband and myself, we are Hope 365 donors,
Love it.
and yes, so setting that example. And then let's see, other ways, again, communities, we're always looking for communities to host events for our families, planning something themselves. Or
And just to clear, like the event thing,
Yes,
it doesn't have to be 1,000 people. I mean, it could be 10, right? It's like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. We can set whatever limit, and especially, if a donor, if some sort of diagnosis is really speaking to that donor or
Sure.
event partner's heart, in our system, we have the ability to invite families who have a child with cancer or families who have a child with cystic fibrosis or something like that.
Right.
So if something is really speaking to their heart, we can make those accommodations too.
I love it. Cool.
Thank you.
So again, this is Andrea Lewis. She came to us from Hope Kids. Fantastic time. Thank you so much for being with
Thank you,
us.
John. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we look forward to hopefully doing some more stuff with you guys in the future.
Would love it.
Great. Thank
Thank
you.
you.